Boom shakalaka, as Bitcoin breaks a new all-time high, we're going to take a look at exactly where Bitcoin is going, plus why this chart is a little bit scarier than it may first appear, and some altcoins I'm personally stocking up my portfolio with. Stay tuned. What's up everyone, Randall here from Crypto Love. Today's video, we're taking a look at Bitcoin, where the price is likely headed now that it has broken all-time highs, plus some altcoins I'm stocking up my portfolio with. Before we get into it, make sure to like, subscribe, click the notification bell. Also come join us over on Twitter at the Crypto Love, where every week we give away one of these sweet shirts. Now, let's get into it. Guys, this chart is looking awesome for Bitcoin, but first let's get into why it's looking so awesome. Well, the Bitcoin futures ETF hits $1 billion assets under management in a record-breaking 2 days. That's right, it did it faster than any other asset in history. The ProShares Bitcoin ETF has beaten an 18-year-old record for the fastest fund to $1 billion asset under management. If that doesn't tell you that people want this, I don't know what does. We can see here that BITO assets up to $1.1 billion after today, making it the fastest ETF to get to $1 billion in 2 days, breaking gold's record, 18-year-old record of 3 days, which is poetically apropos because Bitcoin is the new gold. We can see the fastest ETFs to $1 billion right here. Gold is here, and then we have some other ones here. We have silver, we have some other ones. Well, Bitcoin is now even faster than gold. It's like, boom, rocketing up there super fast. Now that Bitcoin has broken previous all-time highs based on that news, broken $65,000, well, where is it likely headed? Historically, this is one viewpoint on where it could be going. Historically, anytime Bitcoin breaks a previous all-time high, within, on average, 34 days, which would put us right about Thanksgiving, well, Bitcoin price doubles. Here it did it in 20 days, here it did it in 10 days, here it did it in 84 days, 22 days, on average 34 days, but the mode would roughly be about 21 days. Well, it would put us at $130,000 by Thanksgiving, which is the ideal time, because November is historically the best month for Bitcoin before December, even higher for Christmas, potentially $300,000, $500,000 for Bitcoin. We could be looking there. Now, there's another chart here by TradingView saying that, hey, we could have a cup and handle leading us to $100,000. You can see the cup right here. We would have a little bit of a pullback to a handle. He's saying potentially all the way down to $50,000 before we rocket off to $100,000, which would be basically repeating what happened right back here, where we had the cup here, handle right here, before we rocketed off to those previous all-time highs. And he's saying, hey, if we take a look at the RSI right here, it looks like potentially we may have a bit of a correction coming. Now, that being said, let's take a look at this chart, because once we break previous all-time highs, we can really only extend some trend lines and look at Fibonacci extensions to try and figure out where it's going. Now, the most common Fibonacci extensions are the 1.618, the 2, the 2.618 Fib extensions. And if we extend from these trend lines, we can see we have a little bit of a rising wedge right here that we are in. And I guess the apex of that would happen about May of 2022. But where could we likely be headed? Well, you see there's a big territory of pretty much nothing until we get to the 1.618 Fib, which is right around $87,000. So that would be the first resistance that we would likely see. The next resistance, the 2 Fib, roughly around $100,000, a big even. And then if we can get there and we stay in this trend pattern, well, $122,000. Now we could break up, but we could also break down. And as you can see, I put a bullseye here because this is, while I am very optimistic for Bitcoin, right now I'm hesitantly optimistic based on this chart. Now, this is just one way to look at a chart, and things could go absolutely wild. I mean, I would love to see this type of thing happen. Bitcoin go to $130,000 and then $500,000 and then $1 million. And then Michael Saylor says it's going to $1 million or 10 million or you're a loser. I just like quoting him on saying that. Well, Bitcoin, if we look at this chart here, this is somewhat of a scary chart. Now, granted, Bitcoin going to $100,000, awesome. But here's why this could be the peak right there. Well, first off, if we take a look at trading patterns, Bitcoin is in a rising wedge right here, okay? If it bounces up here and down and up and down and up and down and stays in that rising wedge, well, that's a predictive pattern. Typically, it's a reversal pattern. So rising wedge, price comes down afterwards. So that would be strike one against this pattern, would be that if it maintains this pattern right here and doesn't break out of it, well, potentially price might come down. Strike number two, we have on cbbi.info, Colin Talks Crypto Bitcoin Bull Run Index. The halving to peak days, which is their own metric they've created, predicts a peak date of March 29th of 2022. Well, if we plot that right here, that's this right here, which coincidentally, well, it would be somewhere between this line right here and, maybe 115. So it would put us roughly between $95,000 and $115,000. But coincidentally, the two fib right at $100,000, big even, right at a fib line, right at a date. Well, that's a whole bunch of things lining up. But not only that, because we also have one other thing that's happening in March of 2022 that to me just says this could be the end of this particular bull market. Now, granted, we may not come down like 90% like we've done previously, but it could be signaling the end. What's happening then? Well, March of 2022, there's speculation that's when people will be able to withdraw their staked Ethereum for ETH 2.0. Because withdrawals aren't available right away. You're not able to withdraw your stake until future upgrades are deployed. Withdrawals will be available in a minor upgrade following the merge of mainnet with the beacon chain. Well, when is that happening? When is the merge happening? Well, best answer, the best current non-official estimate is sometime in Q1 of 2022. People speculate March of 2022, people are going to be able to unstake their Ethereum. This is the same Ethereum that they've had staked since it was a few $100, $300, $400, $500. Now, March of 2022 is worth $20,000. You think they don't want to capture those profits? So potentially we could have a big sell-off from Ethereum happening at the same time then, also causing a crash. Now this is all speculation. I don't actually know if this is going to happen, but these are just my thoughts on the market. I'm very, very bullish on Bitcoin long term, but right now the chart doesn't look that pretty because where we are right now, we have very serious resistance at $87,000 and also $90,000 before getting up here to $100,000. If we break there, once we break out of this to the upside, then that would be awesome because we have to remember that Bitcoin is like the most anti-fragile money that's ever been created because it's decentralized and it's available to everyone. See, Willy Woo says China banned Bitcoin transactions and mining only 150 days ago, yet today the network is more decentralized than ever and price has risen 50+%. Anti-fragile, which is a very, very good quality to have. If you haven't read the book Anti-Fragile by Nassim Taleb or listened to it, which is what I did, well, being anti-fragile is a very, very good quality. That's why humans survive, because we're anti-fragile, because we adapt to the environment. That's why Bitcoin's doing so well, because it's anti-fragile. Well, that's why fiat currencies are eventually going to zero, because they are fragile. Look at all the things that have to go on to stabilize currencies. They're fragile, but Bitcoin is anti-fragile. So that leads us to this. Well, Bitcoin is going up. To what levels? We don't exactly know. I would say it's going up, potentially first resistance right around 87, then 100, and then hopefully we'll be seeing $130,000 plus like this graph, which, by the way, would invalidate this one because this one only goes up to 126. So we get to $130,000 and then we know that the price is going up beyond there. But that leads us to what altcoins should we be looking at? Because with Bitcoin dominance right now, there's a good chance that alt season is right around the corner. As we can see here, that there is a one-day golden cross into death cross, and Bitcoin breaking above the one-day MA200 happened back here in 2018. Looks like it's happening right now again. And then if we take a look at the total crypto market cap, which is down here, we can see that, well, as it goes sideways for a long while, it shoots off at the same time that happens. Well, it goes sideways for a while, potentially could shoot off at the same time that happens. And this is validated time and time again, where we basically go back and forth between Bitcoin season and altcoin season. We just had Bitcoin season. Now we may see another larger Bitcoin season if it kind of copies what it did back here in 2018, but eventually it will head back to altcoin season. So that being said, well, how do I know what altcoins to stock my portfolio with? Which ones to trade? Well, first off, I like to use a couple platforms because they do the hard work for me. And if you haven't checked out the platforms, there's Token Metrics, there's also Cointelegraph Markets Pro, there's discounted links down in the description and the pinned comment. But let's just say, for instance, that you watch my videos where I talk about Token Metrics, and you would have seen my video from this past week where I said, hey, losses right here is flagging very, very high. Well, turns out I made that video back here when losses was 90 cents. Already ran up to $2.50 before coming back down to $1.80. So right now, even if you bought it and didn't sell, you would still be up 100% based on that Token Metrics pick. But not only that, Cointelegraph Markets Pro, if you use this, you can set these Newsquake alerts to come to your phone directly. You can find out about things being listed on Coinbase before anybody else. On average, Coinbase listings go up 58%. Well, had you have done that, guess what? 7 hours ago, this was listed. If we take a look at the chart, 7 hours ago, it wasn't $42. No, it was $32. You would have been up almost 50% already in 7 hours. So those are definitely two very good platforms to take a look at if you're looking to trade on a regular basis, because you can find stuff out here faster than I can make videos. But me personally, here's what I'm doing, because I want to gain exposure to some awesome cryptocurrencies that I think have a very good chance to go up. So instead of buying each individual cryptocurrency by itself, what I'm actually doing is I'm buying indexes of these cryptocurrencies, because heck, I've been investing in index funds in traditional markets for over 20 years, and they've done pretty darn well. On average, they do between 8 and 12% per year, which for traditional markets is very, very good. Well, you can now do index funds with cryptocurrencies and specifically targeted groups of cryptocurrencies like metaverse tokens, like DeFi tokens. And this is me personally what I'm investing in, because it gives me exposure to these amazing asset classes, the metaverse and DeFi, without having to buy each individual token. You can have tokens like Illuvium, Axie Infinity, Engine, Mana, Sand, Audius, Wax, a whole bunch of other ones there. Or things like Uniswap, Aave, Maker, Sushi, Compound, Synthetics, Yearn Finance, Ren, all of these. And how do you do it? Well, it's the DeFi Pulse Index and then also the Metaverse Index. Now, right now, I think DeFi Pulse Index is available on KuCoin, mostly decentralized exchanges. This one's only available on decentralized exchanges, but they are very worthwhile to, at least my opinion, they're very worthwhile to take a look at, because I think that these two areas will outperform the market in general. Most altcoins are going to zero. Most projects out there are garbage, but the metaverse, DeFi, these are like best use cases for cryptocurrencies, for altcoins. So I think that investing in them is probably one of the best ways to go. And this would be my best advice for how to invest in cryptocurrencies, is look at these index funds, because you can literally get exposure to a whole bunch of different coins. You don't have to worry about trying to pick out the moon coin, because basically you get part of these coins and the moon coins are already in your bags. So those are definitely worth checking out. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to like, subscribe, click the notification bell. Also check out Token Metrics and check out Cointelegraph Markets Pro in the link in the description. Guys, Token Metrics has just upgraded to Token Metrics 2.0, and if you take a look at the ratings, it's absolutely insane, because what they do now is they have a whole bunch of different categories that you can look at, and you can define stuff by gaming, by Solana platforms, Polkadot platforms. I mean, there's so much stuff that you can do, so it's totally worthwhile. Thank you guys for watching. I will catch you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.